to tell you I'm simply sharing what life has taught me after many years of trial, regret, and finally understanding. These are 13 lessons that changed how I see everything. And if you listen closely, they might gently change something inside you too. Let me begin with the one lesson that touches every single day of your life. Lesson number one, health is everything. I used to think health was something you only worry about when something goes wrong. As long as I could move, work, and get through the day, I believed I was fine. I would ignore small signs. A little pain here, a little fatigue there. I would say, it is nothing. I will rest later. But later has a way of arriving much sooner than we expect. There was a time when I could stay up all night and still function the next day. I could skip meals or eat whatever was convenient. I could push my body beyond its limits and it would recover, or at least I thought it did. What I did not understand back then was this. The body remembers everything, every hour of lost sleep, every moment of stress, every time you ignored its need for care. It keeps a quiet record. Now, at this age, I see how valuable simple things are. A full night of sleep feels like a gift. Walking without pain feels like freedom. Sitting in peace without discomfort feels like a blessing. These are not small things. They are everything. If I could go back, I would treat my body with more kindness. I would not wait for pain to remind me. I would rest without guilt. I would eat with more care. I would protect my peace as if it were part of my physical health, because it truly is. As I began to understand this, something else became clear to me. Not everything deserves my energy. Lesson number two, choose peace over arguments. When you live long enough with someone, especially a spouse, small disagreements become part of daily life. I remember arguing over little things that, if I am honest, did not matter at all. At the time, I felt the need to explain, to correct, to prove that I was right. It felt important in the moment. But now, looking back, I see something different. Those arguments did not bring me closer to the person I loved. They created small distances, quiet tension, a feeling that stayed longer than the words themselves. And for what? To win a point that no longer matters today? There came a time when I realized something simple but powerful. Peace feels better than being right. Sitting together in silence, sharing a meal without tension, speaking gently instead of sharply. These are the moments that truly matter. If you are in your later years, time becomes more precious. You begin to see that every moment of peace is worth protecting. You no longer need to correct every small mistake or defend every opinion. Sometimes it is better to smile, to listen, and to let things go. And as I started letting go of unnecessary arguments, I noticed another habit that had quietly taken over my life. If you stay with me, then write continue below. Lesson number 3, stop worrying about everything. For most of my life, I worried. I worried about work, about money, about family, about the future. Even when things were fine, my mind would find something to hold on to. It became a habit, a constant background noise that I did not even notice anymore. But here's what I learned. Most of the things I worried about never happened, and the things that did happen were often beyond my control. All that worry did not protect me. It only made my days heavier. There was a moment not too long ago when I asked myself a simple question. Does this really need my energy? And for the first time, I started answering honestly. The result was surprising. So many things did not deserve my attention at all. When you stop feeding unnecessary worries, something changes. Your mind becomes quieter. Your days feel lighter. You begin to notice small moments of calm that were always there, but you were too busy to see them. And with that quiet mind, another important truth slowly revealed itself to me. Lesson number 4, stay independent as long as you can. As we grow older, it is easy to believe that dependence is just part of the journey. And yes, there may come a time when we need help. There is no shame in that. But what I learned is this: independence is not just about doing everything on your own. It is about holding on to your ability to choose. I remember a friend of mine who slowly gave up control of his daily life. At first, it was small things, letting others decide his routine, then bigger things, depending on others for decisions he used to make himself. Over time, I saw a change in him, not just in his actions, but in how he saw himself. That is when I understood something deeply. Independence is dignity. It is self-respect. Even small things matter. Choosing what you eat, deciding how you spend your day, managing your own routine. These are not small freedoms. They are what keep you connected to yourself. You do not have to do everything alone, but you should try to keep control of your life for as long as you can. Because once you give that away too easily, it is not always easy to take it back. And as I tried to maintain that balance, especially within family, I learned another lesson that many people do not talk about openly. Lesson number 5, do not overgive to your grandchildren. Love for grandchildren is something very special. It is soft, joyful, and full of warmth. You want to give them everything: your time, your energy, your support. And at first it feels beautiful, but there is a quiet line that we often do not notice until we cross it. I have seen people my age become tired, even overwhelmed, because they kept giving more than they could sustain. What started as love slowly became responsibility, and sometimes even expectation. I remember a neighbor who spent most of his days caring for his grandchildren. He rarely had time for himself. One day he told me quietly, "I love them, but I am so tired." That stayed with me. The lesson is not to love less. It is to protect your energy. You can still be present. You can still share moments, stories, laughter. But you must also take care of yourself. Because if you are always exhausted, you cannot truly enjoy the love you are giving. And as I began to understand the importance of protecting my energy, I also realized something about the space we live in. Lesson number 6, keep your own space if you can. There is a kind of peace that comes from having a place that is truly yours. A place where your routines, your memories, and your comfort remain unchanged. I have seen many people give this up too quickly, thinking it will make life easier. But living in someone else's space, even with family, often comes with quiet adjustments. You begin to change your habits, your routines, sometimes even your preferences. And over time, you may start to feel like a guest in a place that is not fully yours. Your own space does not have to be large or perfect. It just needs to feel like home, a place where you can live on your own terms, a place where you can wake up and feel at ease. Holding on to that space, if you can, is one of the most valuable things you can do for your peace of mind. And as these lessons slowly came together in my life, I began to see a pattern. It was not about doing more, it was about letting go of what drains you and holding on to what truly matters. I will share more of these lessons with you because some of the most important ones are still ahead. Just stay with me. As I continued to reflect on my life, I noticed something very quiet but very powerful. Much of my disappointment did not come from what people did. It came from what I expected them to do. Lesson number 7, expect less from your children. As parents, we carry dreams for our children for many years. We imagine how they will live, how they will care for us, and how they will stay close. These hopes feel natural. They come from love. But life does not always follow our plans. Our children grow into their own lives. They have their own worries and responsibilities. Sometimes, without meaning to, they fall short of what we expect. I remember waiting for a call that did not come. Not because my child did not care, but because they were busy. At first it hurt, but later I understood something simple. It was not their actions that caused my pain. It was my expectations. When you expect less, you begin to appreciate more. A short visit feels special. A simple message feels warm. You stop measuring love and start feeling it. As I learned this, I realized I also needed to protect something important. Lesson number 8, keep some financial privacy. This is not about hiding or mistrusting others. It is about protecting your independence. Over the years, we built savings and stability. These are not just numbers. They are your effort and your life. When everything becomes open, things can change. People may expect more. They may assume things. Even without bad intentions, pressure can grow. Keeping some privacy gives you freedom. You can make your own choices. You can help when you want, not when you feel forced. That quiet control gives you dignity. As I understood this, I also noticed something about time with family. Lesson number 9, do not stay too long at your children's home. Time with family is beautiful. Sharing meals and laughter brings warmth. But even love needs space. I have seen visits turn uncomfortable just because they lasted too long. Small habits clash. Routines feel different. And slowly, tension grows. The key is knowing when to leave. Going back to your own space keeps the relationship healthy. It keeps love light and easy. It is not distance, it is balance. Then comes a lesson that many people do not expect. Lesson number 10, do not rush into remarriage. Loneliness can feel heavy, especially after losing someone. The silence can feel deep. It is natural to want someone beside you again. But at this stage, relationships can be complex. Different habits, different expectations, different families. Sometimes what feels like a solution brings new stress. I have seen people rush into it and regret it later. Instead, build simple connections, friendships, conversations, shared time, and most importantly, learn to enjoy your own company. Peace comes from within, not just from others. As I slowed down, I also learned to listen to my body more carefully. Lesson number 11, do not overwork yourself. For many years, we stayed busy, always doing something, always pushing forward. But now, the body changes. Energy becomes limited. Recovery takes longer. You do not need to prove anything anymore. Real strength is knowing when to rest, when to stop, when to say, this can wait. Rest is not weakness, it is wisdom. Then I understood something else that many people miss. Lesson number 12, do not be too frugal. We spent years saving money. It was important. It helped us survive and grow. But now, life is not only about saving. I once knew someone who saved everything for later, but later never came as they expected. That taught me something. You deserve small joys. A good meal, a short trip, a simple comfort. These things matter. Time is now more valuable than money. And finally, everything comes down to one gentle truth. Lesson number 13, protect your sleep and your peace. At this stage, rest is essential, not just for your body, but for your mind. A restless mind brings restless nights, and that affects everything. I used to carry worries into bed, thinking too much, holding on to things I could not change. Now I tell myself, today is done. Tomorrow can wait. When you protect your peace, your life feels calmer, your sleep improves, your days feel lighter. When I look back at all these lessons, I see a simple pattern. Life becomes easier when you let go of what drains you and hold on to what brings peace. And remember this, it is not too late. You can still make small changes. You can still choose a calmer, more meaningful life. If this message touched your heart, share your thoughts in the comments. Write "Calm Life" below and tell us where you are watching from. And if you found comfort here, follow